What has been the highlight of your career so far?
The highlight of the career, you can say, as my accidents,
Okay.
because every accident has changed my way of life. From last 28 years, I'm into surrounded by the accidents. So these 28 years have changed my life every time. My first accident, which happened in Sillod, Aurangabad, forced me to go for traveling, because that time I understood कि ज़िंदगी बहुत छोटी है, जी लो. So I started touring and traveling India on my two-wheeler with my wife and son. So that's how, it started changing my life. So that was the main highlight of my life.
Can you tell us a funny incident that happened during your very first year as a teacher?
The most funny experience which happened when I joined as a teacher, it was actually the age gap between me and the students. I was 20 years old when the students were playing under 17 and under 19. So they were just 2 years younger to me, and I became teacher to them. That was the most funniest experience, you can say, by being the teacher to just a 2 years younger boy to you. When I was in 10th standard, these boys were in 7th, 8th standard. And when I passed out 12th standard and I came back as a football coach to teach them, that was little hard for everyone to digest, especially the parents, because when they saw me, today I am very healthy and with the white beard and all. But those days I was very slim. I was just 52, 54 kilogram. I was very slim as the 9th, 10th standard boys. So the parents used to feel that ये कैसे मेरे बेटे को संभाले, मेरा बेटा तो कितना अतरंगी है. So that's how, that was the most funny thing. And from that time I was every time dreaming that यार भगवान मेरी थोड़ी मूछे पीछे जरा सफ़ेद करा ले, थोड़े बाल सफ़ेद करा ले. And by the grace of my own wishes, within a span of 5-7 years after my first accident, I became grey.
How well you were able to meet the expectations that you had set for yourself as a teacher?
As a teacher, there were a lot of expectations. One from the society, one from myself. See, when I was a student, I had three teachers in front of my life who were the idols for me. One was Mr. Liaquat Ali Mujawar. He was my primary school teacher. Then was Mr. Sathe, who also was my primary teacher. And then when I went to school, it was Mr. Dattatre Parve, who was my teacher. Now these three people had a big impact over my career. So that was one. Second thing, when I did my bachelor's and master's in education, there is a teacher created by the college. They have an expectations from the students which they try to create or put into the student, and then the need of the society when you go in the market. So there were three different things, and when these three things, when I took it over, when I started understanding these three things, I wanted to be a different teacher, and I tried to be always the different. I always had one aim in the life, was never treat any student same or compare with the other one. So that 99.99% I did it till the end of my 38 years of career. Now, why I did that was physically and mentally, every child is different. If the fingerprints of every person is different, so as every child is different. You need to treat them in those different ways. Now, if you don't treat them in the different way, you are going to have a problem. Like, if a child is good in muscular strength, and if you are trying to give him endurance test, he is not going to cope up with it. So you need to give him first the endurance training, and then you ask him to take the test. So in that way, there were a lot of things which was the problem when I was a student, and then when I became the teacher, and then what I wanted to put into it. But I tried my level best. I never treated anyone same. I never compared any student. I never ever had any grudge with any student. That's how, I was little different than the others, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
How well were you able to meet the expectations that you had set for yourself as a teacher?
So as a teacher, if you set an expectation or a goal, you never can go or reach to that goal. The reason is the upcoming things which are there, which are going to happen in the real world. Setting a goal is a dream. You just have to set a goal. The day when it comes that you're towards that goal, there are a lot of things which happen in between, and then you change over. Like when I had started my career, I started as a football coach. I achieved whatever target I wanted to. 7 times under 14 was champion in a row. 5-6 times the under 17 and 19 were just champions in a row. So that goal was set. But with my accidents, the things started changing. Now accidents was not the part of the goal. So after the accidents, I stopped moving towards the coaching, and I started moving towards the physical development of the students, because I started understanding. I got more lessons because of my own accidents. I got more lessons in anatomy, physiology, and then I started treating the students for their problems of the health. So you cannot set a goal. After my second, third accident, which hampered a lot, I moved towards moreover the trekking section for restoration of the forts and all. So the goals are only for a time being, absolutely for the time being. No goal can be for the lifelong. And because it is not for the lifelong, the things kept on changing. So a lot of things in this last 38 years, I started with something. First 5-7 years, something else happened, then something else happened, and the things kept on changing. But the goals never remained the same. They keep on increasing, the ideas keep on changing. There are a lot of changes which happen into your goal, which you set as a beginner. Now the things are totally different. If I sit and look back, I started as a football coach. I just wanted to win. I did that. I achieved in the first 5-7 years. What after that? So the goals keep on changing.
So what would you want to do to keep sharing your knowledge with others now that you're retiring, with other students, other teachers? What would you want to do?
It's not actually what I want to do after retiring. I've been doing this right from last 20 years. I'm trying to share the knowledge with different faculties of the society. Like, coaching in Loyola was very easy. The kids over here knew much of the things. They had that background. They were playing from, they have seen boys playing in football, badminton, table tennis, right from when they have started understanding, because media was there for them, बच्चे थे तो उनके पास घर में टीवी है, they know what to do. But there are some schools of corporation where the students don't get the chance to do these things. So for first few years, there was one school at Pariyar Chowk, the corporation school, where I used to go and teach table tennis. The kids were so happy. For them, that was a big experience, big learning. If you compare the beginners in Loyola and the beginner over there, it was vast different. Zameen asman ka farak tha. Their happiness was to the top of the world. Holding the racket and tossing the ball and seeing the racket of a good quality and the different ball. Because they might have seen the plastic ball. The table tennis ball looks like that, but it behaves the other way. After my accidents, I started giving physiotherapy lectures to people who were, not doing the exercise properly, who had some problem with the body. When many a times in the staff also, they used to say, "Sir, aaj he dukte, aaj te dukte," and then I used to just treat them over there in a minute, and they were back to the work. There were a lot of students where, they had a lot of physical problems, which I tried to do it. That was all just for, sharing the knowledge. When I did my masters, rather I failed. I did not give the final exams in my masters in endology, MA endology. But I had the entire knowledge. I went to the college to learn whatever I have seen the world. There were a lot of things which I have seen in my traveling. I had visited 900 forts. The structures were different, the artifacts were different. So every time, there was a big war in my head, what it is exactly. To satisfy that, I went to do my masters in endology, where I got so much of knowledge. After that, I started sharing with people. I did a fort restoration group. I started all over Maharashtra, where I've given more than 300 lectures, free workshops, free everything. We did it for the kids to develop. That was for sharing. I am and I was very good at technical of the sport. To pursue in that, there was one association which was upcoming, invented a new game called short pitch cricket. I wrote the entire rule book for them, entire guideline for coaches, entire guideline for players, entire guideline for the organizers and everything. I am also related with many games where I go and work as technical head. I don't go on the ground. I'll rather not go on the ground and do refereeing. But surely I am giving lectures. I am teaching the students. I am teaching the newcomers. There is an ex-student of my old school, like from Loyola. There is a boy called Sujit Navle. He was into computers, and then I gave my entire brain, whatever I did in physical education, for him to get it digitalized. He started his own company. He is running the same softwares. He's doing good into that also. So that's how I'm going to share my rest of the time. A few days before, I got an offer from one of the tournament organizers, and then when I shared this with my son gave me one small tip. He said, "Dad, how much he is going to give you?" I didn't say anything because the intention was not earning. So I didn't say anything. He followed and said, "Dad, I'll give you 1 rupee more than that person. Don't go. Now you have worked for last 38 years. Now you need not to work. You enjoy the life as you want, but don't work for anyone." Now, so my nature is like that now, and the support of my son, because after retirement, generally the next generation takes over major decisions may lie with you, but the running of the house happens with the second additional tire as a son. So anyhow, he is also not in favor of me earning. I was never for earning. I am there on the committee of 5-6 bodies of the associations, or you can say the federations in India. So I'll work on that as a freelance. Whatever I am enjoying, I'll do it, and I'll do it till I enjoy.
What advice would you give to those aspiring to become teachers?
Then advice to those who are willing to become teachers is, first thing, they need to be more dynamic. Today's world is totally different than what we started. I started 38 years, that is 40 years, 4 decades behind. That time the expectations from the society was different. Today the expectation from the society is different, and the challenges are also different. But I'll like to guide them as they should be, very much into knowledge. It is not, being a teacher is not like the sports teacher generally, or physical education teacher, or even a coach. They do it because they don't get anything to do outside. They should not think that. What they have to do is, they have to gain experience in different wings. When you go to B.Ed college, you have different subjects. And those subjects are everything what you are supposed to do in the school. If they don't concentrate on that, they don't study on that, then it is difficult. I will not suggest anyone, if he is getting 35-40% marks, just passing, should not go and become teacher. A person who is getting more than 70-75% can think of going and becoming a teacher, because it is more important of understanding and giving. When the child is not able to perform good in football or basketball or any other event, you should be able to analyze why he is not able to do. What are the problems behind it? Is it the physical? It is the anatomical difficulty? Because it's, the many times kids come to you because they want to play football. Is their body made for football? That is the more actual question. So this ability to understand the students, ability to understand the different type of bodies is very important. So the subject knowledge, the psychology of the students is very important. Now if they don't have this subject, they will not be able to catch hold of the students. Today the world is changing. Because of the mobile, the things are becoming more complicated. Because the kids know everything. You don't have to give them any fitness lessons. They can see so many videos on the YouTube and take the fitness lesson. Then what is your difference? What makes importance of your being a teacher? That they have to understand and learn in the manner. Their mastery is something which generally the people don't get into, like the fitness, like the flexibility, like endurance. These all things, something they should be great into it. Like today also, when I be in front of the students, I think I motivate them, because every time when I take the PT exam of the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th standard boys, they have 9 minutes run and walk, 12 minutes run and walk for boys and girls different. I always tell them, अरे भाई तुम लोग जितना चल रहे हो, जितना भाग रहे हो, आधा तो ज़्यादा चल रहे हो, उतना तो स्पीड मेरा भी वॉकिंग का है. Today at this age also, I was walking 24 kilometers a day. Today I am walking 8-10 kilometers a day after all my 58 broken parts of the body. And if I am doing this, why can't you do that? That's how, again, I am taking over as my accidents as a tool for boys to make them towards the fitness. So they should gain experience. Education is after all experience. They need to gain experience in understanding how the kids behave, how to behave with them, how to put the word in different head. So that's, I think that the teacher should be more dynamic, more understanding. He should not be biased. That's very important for me. If a child is playing and if he has scored 2 goals, that doesn't mean he's a good player. If you are the part of the football team, that doesn't mean you get good marks in physical education. There are only 10 boys who wanted to play football and you were the 10th person and you are the part of the team. अरे टीम तो 11 की बनती है, टीम तो 11 की है, तो तू 10वां था, 10 ही बच्चे थे तो टीम में बन गया. It is not by your quality, it is just by the number of boys were less. If there was more people, you're out. That's how you should understand the difference between the child, that why you are treating him, what you are there. Because generally what happens when the students come to you, they say, I played state, I played nationals. Yes, which game you played is very important. How much competition is there, that's how you understand what game you played. There are so many games. There are 184 games which are played in Maharashtra. There are no so many students who are going and playing it. Today you pay a little bit, you go to the national directly. So when they come back to you, you need to analyze them. As a teacher, you need to have all that experience to understand them. What are they? If you know the anatomy of the human body, then you understand exactly how good the child is, and then you can divert him to different games. That's what I think.
So what are the 2 things that your students have taught you?
I will not say what the students have taught me, but I'll take it as what made me change my thinking because of the students. That also becomes the things what students have forced you to learn more. Because students, they appreciate as a PT teacher. I don't know about the subject teachers, but as a PT teacher, they always have a PT teacher as a role model in their life. Mainly because the teacher is a player. So बच्चों लोग के दिमाग में वो एक concept रहता है, my teacher is a good player. So his achievements are very important. I remember when I was very fit and I was on the ground, I used to play with the kids. And when I used to play with the kids, when I used to teach them penalty kicks, they were very, very, very afraid of being the goalkeeper or standing in front. And then I used to purposely make them stand in front and take the shots. And the reason was I wanted to keep that word fear out of their mind. That time they might have understood the power of my kick, and then I used to teach them how to kick in a different style. बॉल हवा में टर्न कैसा करना है, बॉल को प्रेशर कैसा देना है, बॉल का हाइट नहीं बढ़ना चाहिए, उसके लिए क्या करना है. That's how I used to give them a different lesson which I was never taught in the school or my college time. Wherever I did my degree, it was not taught in that way. But I started teaching in this way. That was the same thing, like it was the demand from the students. They wanted, and then I changed accordingly. ठीक है, तुम लोगों को वो नहीं आ रहा है तो वो कैसा सिखाना है. I had to change my to the present condition. I had to change in a different manner. Second thing was, which was very important, was I wanted to show them difference in me. मैं कुछ अलग हूँ, so that every time they are into second mind. Before they learn me, children come over you, they wind up you when they have understood you totally. आपके सब गुण धर्म उनको मालूम हो गए कि बच्चे तुम्हारे ऊपर जाते. So I had never allowed them to be above me, because every time I showed them something different. There were a lot of things which I did it. Like, I have a stamp collection of 1,500,000. And then when I used to, when the kids used to talk about it, I used to change the subject towards the coins. I used to change the subject towards the stamps. I have a big collection of cameras. I used to change the subject towards cameras. All my different hobbies which I had, I made them as a tool to make myself different in front of the students. And I was very much, I can say that I was very much, successful in doing that. To show, I started traveling. I wanted to show them different forts. So I started Shivaji Trail into it. So today the Shivaji Trail is a big different entity. It was because of the students. So it was because of the students. That means I have learned automatically from them, this is the need, I should do it. That's how, different things came out of it. I've traveled 1.5 kilometers of India on my Bajaj Chetak was because of the students only, automatically, indirectly. Because I had to show in front of them how I am different and what there are a lot of things yet to learn from me. That's how, I can say that the boys have motivated me till today to do a lot of things. Today also when I passed the 100 kg mark for my body weight, and then again I wanted to reduce, I took it in the other way. I took it, when I tell boys to reduce, that time I force them to do a lot of things. And then I put down their weight. Then why can't I do it? And I have to show it to them to do it. So I started walking, I started doing my exercise and all other things. I reduced in 4.5 months, I reduced 26, 27 kilos. So, that's how they motivate you to do a lot of things. So it is not the students teach you, they motivate you to do a lot of things. And that's how I am today, whatever passions I have, whatever I have done differently, whatever people remember me for is what is the students which have motivated.
So what makes a good day at school?
First important thing is for anyone to be, for the day, anyone needs a good sleep. If you had a good sleep, your day is automatically good. But at school, yes, when I get lot of challenges, when I am there to teach what is not in the books, when I get a chance to tell the boys all what I understood in my life in last 40 years, what I have learned through that, and which is not in the books, that I like to share. When I share that with the students, when I teach them through that with my experience, lifetime experience, that makes my day good. When I be with the students, I'm sharing like how the muscles move. I don't know if this is the part of the syllabus anywhere, but when I show them or explain them how the muscles move, then they understand what is the meaning of exercise. Because many times, you see, we have done, everyone, when the PT teacher tells you to do the mass PT exercise or the exercise, we are very lazy and we are doing as we want. There might be the first 4 boys who are doing properly, the rest are doing all time pass. So actually how the exercise is done, how it is kept, if your angle of the hand is a little change and little stiff, the movement of exercise and the pain in the muscles, how it happens. When I teach them this thing, which is not into the books anywhere. So when I teach this thing, I love to do that because this is the experience which no one can give them. Whenever I have traveled on cycle throughout India, what experience I got, out of that if I pull it out as a summary, I like to tell the boys that they need to cycle every day at least not 4-5 kilometers, but 50 kilometers at least. Then that is very minimum. Because I see many students, they say, when they tell me, sir, nowadays I am started cycling, how much? My straight question is how much? Then they say, sir, 5 kilometers, I go to the office on cycle and come on. Well, that is not the achievement. 5 kilometers is not a thing. 5 kilometers is very, very nominal. Like, when you're in the house, kuch liya khaya nikal gaya, that is only 5 kilometers. Then you cannot say, your mother cannot say, "Are tu khaya wo breakfast tha, wo lunch tha." No, it's not like that. You need to do at least 50 kilometers. Then it becomes normal. In the same manner, there are lot of things which I love to do it, which boys have never experienced. I like to tell them about my stories, about even the accidents, even my touring, even the forts, because I doubt when I was active that time I had students, 70, 80 students who have seen more than 100 forts. After that, I doubt if anybody collectively in the class, they might have seen 10 forts. Collectively, all 60 together, not more than 10 forts. So that experience I like to share. That's how that day becomes very fantastic for me. The happy day is when I share about my challenges which I have taken and I have successfully moved out of it, because a teacher is always a motivator.
How does technology make teaching more simple or difficult?
It depends upon the teacher's knowledge, because if the teacher takes the help of the technology, he can teach better. But if the teacher himself has not understood the technology, then it becomes difficult. The reason is, anyhow, when you're teaching the kids about the effect of running on the human body, they are going to Google. They will see a lot of videos on it. So you need to have something in your own hand. Like I said, a teacher himself should be dynamic. So in that, the teacher should know how to overtake this situation, what to tell exactly, because videos on the YouTube are not going to be exactly to the situation what it is in the school or in their coaching period. The situation over there where the video has come from is different. Only the thin line is common, is the training. So they can, make use of it, understand it, and when they are teaching it, they have to teach to their knowledge. If they are dynamic enough, the things will carry on. Nothing is going to happen. It will be helpful. They need to upgrade their own knowledge with the help of technology. That is very important. If there is YouTube is available, before you go and talk to the students, if you are talking to them about physical strength or the muscular strength, go through some videos yourself. So you may also improve understanding the things what you are taught, because when you are taught in college, you may not be from the science background. Like I was not from the science background, I was from the arts background. But these accidents and my all 9 accidents which kept me in Sanchiti hospital for months together has given me all that knowledge, because whatever physiotherapy people used to come for my physiotherapy, I used to literally take my lessons from them indirectly by questioning them why I have to do this, what is the benefit of this, which muscles are going to move, what is going to happen. That's how I took my lessons. The same way I took the lessons from the upcoming college students who come over there for your physiotherapy. They may not be fully graduated or doctors, but they are the trainees. So I took the lessons from them. Same thing, you can make use of the videos which are there on the YouTube and make yourself very compatible and strong enough to put it in front of the students. And the students, with your own experience, situation in your own school can happen.
So what's the best and worst thing about being a teacher?
I'll tell you the worst thing of being a teacher. Actually, it is, it cannot be, actually, there is nothing worse as such. But like yesterday, I'll give you an example. I went with my relatives, family members for dinner. And there was a group of 15, 17 boys and girls sitting before. As I entered inside and I was not looking anywhere else. I went to the chair which was allotted to us. I went and sat on the table. That entire group, out of that I think 5 or 6, they were my students. They had to wind up the entire program and they just, one of them from far away said hi sir, and then they went off. So they had to pack up. Because of me, their party was disturbed. So many times it happens that because of the respect you have created in them, their parties are disturbed, and it happens many times. But the good thing is, 15th August I went to, with my staff members, I went to have a missile at one place, and when I asked for the bill, they said, sir, the bill has been paid. How? Those boys who were sitting over there have paid your bill. This can be the best thing also. When I met with my accident, which was at Sakal Nagar, there was a rickshaw fellow who helped me. When I was trying to tell him, he said, sir, you don't tell anything, I know you very well. I'll help you out. So that's a good thing. Many times it happens, I was in Leh Ladakh, and suddenly I got a phone call from one of the ex-students. He was over there, he's in army. He said, sir, nice to see you in Ladakh. How come you know? सर आपने एंट्री किया था ना, तो एंट्री में आपने नाम लिखा था, आपने आपका डिटेल लिखा था. So we verify everything. So all this thing I do it personally. So when I saw your name, I took your number from there, and I've called you up. So what is your program? And then he came to meet me at Leh. For just 15 minutes he came, because he was with lot of lawa jama, आगे पीछे गन वाले लोग थे. So he gave 10 minutes and he went off again. So that's a proud moment when you find your students everywhere. But when you are a teacher in the school time, the best moment is, when you are telling something and those 60 kids sitting in front of you take it so seriously, they can stand against their parents. No, sir told us this, we are going to do this. So it depends upon the teacher how he wants to get motivated, or he wants to motivate others. But I have got good experience that there is nothing bad in teaching line. I loved it. Maybe this is my fifth generation who are in teaching field. My son is also somewhat into the teaching field. He's teaching photography. So yes, it's enjoyable. There is no regrets, nothing bad into it. All good.
So what inspires you?
For me, inspiration can be anything. It depends upon what I am thinking at that time. Passion towards forts, people have not done. There are very less people who have seen more than 200, 300 forts. So I wanted to see as much as possible into those days which I was able to do it. I did 900 forts plus in traveling. I'm still doing it. But now, because of the health issues, it doesn't happen that in a day I have seen 3 or 4 forts. It's in a day, or maybe now after 2 days or 3 days I can see 1 fort. But knowledge inspires me itself. If I don't have anything that inspires me itself, my positive thinking inspires me to do it. I don't like to be a failure. Like when I met with my accident, the first accident, the major one, where my leg was separated from the body, and then 9 months I had to be on the bed, and the anniversary I celebrated with 1000 kilometers of drive. So inspiration can be anything. My accidents, my so many marks over the body, I don't like to hide them. I always be open. It's not that I hide my marks. इतना लगा अच्छा नहीं लग रहा पैर. I don't care if anybody sees or not, but I am going to be the way I want. So inspiration is of anything. I have 3 scooters which I have traveled throughout India. Inspires me to keep them. I have 2 scooters I've gone for remaking it. Within a month or 2, I'll get them back, remade, fully furnished. So anything can inspire you. Only the thing is that I have to think positively about it. Friends inspire me, students inspire me, everything by which you are known to everyone, that inspires me. So there is a lot of things for a person to get inspiration from, but only depends upon how you take it. The accidents, my first accident inspired me to travel. I've traveled 1.5 kilometers. So anything can inspire you. It is not only, accidents have made a bad patch on my life. Sorry, no, it is nothing like that. I know it. I am going to meet with an accident. That doesn't mean I have to stay home and be in the shell, in the protection and nothing doing. I'm inspired by everything what comes in the life. All challenges are inspiring. All things which I have not done, I love to do it. Everything is inspiring.
So, which accomplishment has filled you with pride in your life? The most fulfilling accomplishment in your life?
See, the life is so big that nothing can fulfill you. Number one. Second thing, what has made me proud of things is being a teacher. So it goes back to 38 years. When I became teacher, I think that was the big thing by which whatever today I have achieved is because I was a teacher. I doubt if it would have been, I would have been into the services as I was. If I was into the services, I don't think that was the right decision my father made me to take. If you want to become a GTI, ground training instructor, why you want to join the Air Force? You don't join the Air Force. You can become the teacher, because the same time I had got a call from my own school to join as a PT teacher, the football coach and the primary PT teacher. So, being a teacher itself, I think everything had helped me to achieve. I cannot say that I have achieved a lot, but whatever today I have achieved is because I was a teacher. So, the day I took the decision of becoming a teacher, the progress started.
So, in which other teacher's class would you like to enroll, even for a day, and why?
I like to enroll myself into the class where Dr. Naina Nimkar is teaching, because she has been the great inspiration for me in the learning process. She has always said, she always have taught something different and out of the way and out of the syllabus, which is very necessary for the life. So I love to be always the part of the class where Dr. Naina Nimkar is teaching.
So who is Dr. Naina Nimkar and what does she do?
Dr. Naina Nimkar is my professor. She was the principal of Kshirsagar Sir College. She is today the dean of the physical education department of Symbiosis University. She is the head dean over there, and she has been the great inspiration. So she had taught me when I was in B.Ed and M.Ed.
So, and what did she teach you?
She was moreover into anatomy, science-based subjects, and overall everything she had been teaching is something to do with everything around is health. So she herself, at the age of I think 70 today, she is still fit, she is still gorgeous, and she is still as she was 32 years back.
So how do you keep things fresh, and how do you mentor the new teachers, and are they receptive and open to listen to an experienced teacher like you?
So the new generation actually is very positive, but they are not ready to accept everything immediately because they want the proof. Everything they need is the proof, and then teaching them becomes a good challenge. I don't do it in my school as a teacher, but wherever I am going as a coach or head, technical head, there are a lot of teachers who come, and when they come over there to learn, I teach them, and then there are 3 days or 4 days of workshops. I teach them the best, the way I want to, so that they, because that when it is in the training period, you have to take it because the questions are based on that. So automatically, whatever I want to put into the teacher, I am getting that chance to do it, and it is very much positively successful, where teachers learn a lot of things into it. Maybe sometime at the beginning it is forcefully, but afterwards they keep on following you, they keep on asking you, they keep on taking your suggestions afterwards also in the years to come. So that's the benefit is happening.
So what sort of morning routine have you had previously, and has it changed over the years to keep yourself going, to keep other teachers going, and how you're helping the students and to inspire the students? So what sort of morning routine do you have?
Actually, the morning routine, when I was full-fledged teaching in the beginning, some out of the 38 years, if you can say the first 30 years, I used to get up at least 5:30, wind up the things, and I used to be always on the ground at 6:15. Then as the days progressed, experience changed, I got people under me, then I started coming by 7:15, then nowadays I come at 8:15 to school because there are people to take care. But I get up at 5 o'clock. There are a lot of other things which I keep on doing. Nowadays, the first basic thing is I go for 8 to 10 kilometers of walk. So round about 1.5 hours I spend in walking, little bit of exercise, and then I am back to the school. So the morning routine is same, but afterwards it's going to change a lot, because after my retirement I am going to put 2 hours for morning walking, and compulsory, because that's the only thing how can I control my weight gain. That's what the doctor has said, you keep on walking. That's because I am doing all type of dieting, nothing is happening, so walking is going to help me. And I'll be every day in the evening I'll be having a drive on my antique scooters. That's how is going to be the routine.
So what current trends are baffling to you in terms of students? How were they before and now how they are? So what baffles you about them and why?
The technology. What is the problem with the present generation is the technology. They're not using the technology for good, they're using it for bad. They are like fast food. Abhi chahiye. They don't want to practice, they don't want to put efforts. They think that everything can be purchased, but health cannot be purchased, fitness cannot be purchased, the skills cannot be purchased. That you have to keep on practicing and practicing to the best. The technology and the attitude of the students is changing because of the nuclear family. That's the base, I think. That's the problem, where mother and father is working, they have only one son, they have no time, both are working at different hours, so all three are not together, so they get very less time. To compensate that, maybe they have equipped their child with all type of gadgets, all type of required material which is actually not required. Whatever the child says, the things are available. The child wants pizza, the pizza is there. He doesn't like the green vegetables, that's out of the house and the kitchen. So there are a lot of things which are, changing the attitude of the students, which is dangerous for future. The kids are running away from the presence and the physical work. Everything they want is virtual. They want the enjoyment through virtual life, which is not possible. Unless and until you have hard learning, experience on the ground, when you give your things, then when you sweat a lot, then you understand the fun about it. That cannot be given by virtual. So maybe the world which is changing because of the all these situations is bad.
So you mean the real world is different and the virtual world is different, and the current students are not able to make a difference between the two, and they are trying to get the enjoyment from the virtual world.
Yes, they are trying to get the virtual world as they are taking it as reality. The same way they want to be the part of the football team, but they don't want to achieve the best of the skills. They don't want to do it the best. They don't want to work on the ground. तुम लोग उनको 4 राउंड मारने बोलो, नहीं सर, it is not possible, my heart and my this and my that, because the fooding habit is related to fooding habit. कल रात को इतना पिज़्ज़ा खाया है, इतना undigested food खाया है कि next day the day is bad. So it depends, everything is mixed. The lifestyle has changed everything.
So you are in touch with so many ex-students. So many students admire you in school and out of school. So how do you keep those connections alive, and how do you make those connections? Because you are in touch with all your ex-students and you continuously upload their photos whenever they come to Loyola, or whenever you meet them outside, you in different cities or different countries, they come and see you. So how have you managed to keep those connections alive? How do you make those connections? How much effort do you put in them to keep everything together as a family?
Actually, social media is helping me to do that. Basically the Facebook, which have kept these connections on. Second thing is, whenever the kids who are out of the country, they come back to India, for them the school is the place where they are attached. So they come back to the school. And for them, I am the only one person who is, they know me. The rest are all newcomers. So automatically it happens that they come and meet me. Being the PT teacher, the physical education teacher, or the coach for them, which have been very much motivating for them. So automatically they get attached. Actually, the kids are attached to the PT teacher more. That's what I have felt from my own experience. And then that's how I get connected with these boys. Many times out of the way, I go and help them out. Many times through Facebook or WhatsApp, I have solved a lot of problems. So automatically this relation is being maintained.
So if you could pass on any wisdom to your students, what would you like to share?
I like to share only one thing. Like, the human body is very important. What are they known for is for their body. And out of this body, everything is in their control except the 5 things. Like brain, liver, kidney, heart and lungs. These are the 5 things which are not in their control. And if they maintain the health of these 5 things, they will be more fit than anything. With these 5 things, flexibility will automatically come. With the flexibility, their heart rate will always be in control. If they have some by birth or some deformities which have been there through the generation, then that is different. But if they are totally fit and if they want to be fit, these 5 things are very important. And in short, they need not to do anything else. If they are able to do 2000 skips in 18 minutes, that will help them throughout the life. The only thing is that they have to do skipping for 18 minutes and they should achieve 2000. And that has to be every day. you cannot say that yes, yesterday I did 2000, now it is okay, I'll be fit. No, that is only for that day. If they're fit, they're fit because they have done it. The day they stop doing it, 8-10 days the effect will go. So be healthy. To be healthy, they have to be taking care of the 5 body parts which are not in their control, and because of which the human body is alive.
So, what is a school sport or activity you enjoy doing and one you enjoy watching?
Activities which I love to be part of it, doing it, is the athletic meet and the events before that, like the football matches, inter-house football, inter-house table tennis, chess, and all activities. I love to be the part of it because I can find the talents and then I can use it further. The activity which I love to watch is the food festival time, the dancing floor. I love to watch because that's the activity which I cannot do. I'm away from dancing, music, and all other things. Last 18-20 years I've not seen a movie, so I'm not in very much in good terms with music and all. But I love to see the boys dancing because the boys who are dancing the most are those idiots who don't want to play. But indirectly they are doing fitness, so I love to see them doing fitness because the trend is changing. The future is going to be fitness and fitness through dancing, and dancing will be the main sport in the next generation to come because students are right in front of the TV every time watching different serials, different movies. They love to dance. Indirectly they like to be fit, so I love to put more efforts in future for dancing, watching and making them dance.
So, if you could take the students on a field trip to anywhere in the world, where would you take them?
I don't think Indians have to go anywhere to the world because in India the entire world is there and the bigger things, better things than the world. I love to take the trip to Leh Ladakh on a bicycle. I'll not be on the bicycle now, but I love that the students should visit Leh Ladakh on bicycle with all the safety precautions. It is very dangerous, but the nature over there and the things out over there I cannot explain. Neither the photos can speak about it. You have to experience it. And if the students, young generation is there on Leh Ladakh trip, I think they'll learn the most what they'll not be able to learn in the school.
So, what kind of person were you when you first got your driving license? What was your thinking initially? And now that you have traveled so much with your Bajaj Chetak, traveling a lakh and 1.5 lakh kilometers, how has it changed you as a person, and what kind of a person are you now with that license? So, what has happened with that? That license has changed your
The
life.
experience of license, the time when I got my license, the need was to travel from one school to another school, one place to another place. Because I was working, I was taking education also. So there was only 30 minutes of gap in between my school timing and the college timing. To achieve that timing, I shifted from cycle to Chetak. That time also I had a Bajaj Chetak, and then the license was the need because the police should not catch you and you should not have problems because I was driving a vehicle. So when I got my first license, it was just to save my time in between the two, my job and my education. To make a bridge, I had to have the license because I had to drive. But with the days now, after the change, it has become a passion. I've traveled 1,500 kilometers on my Chetak. That time, as I told, it was to save the time. That means my driving speed was much higher. My vehicle was always on the toss. But now I travel for fun. Yes, I had to achieve the target, that is different, but I have to travel for fun. So my driving style has changed, my attitude towards the driving has changed, aim has changed, so attitude has changed obviously. Today I drive having the fun, because after all my accidents I don't want to get into more accidents. But the best was I did 730 kilometers in around about 10 hours from here to Himmatnagar in Gujarat in one stroke, just 7-8 years back. That was the fastest drive what I did. The second was Hyderabad to Pune in 11 hours, those days when the road was single. Now the roads are too good. So the target every time keeps on changing with the experience, the necessity change, and from achieving the time, today I am enjoying the time. That's how the change is there between the attitude when I took the license and after 2 renovations now.
So how do you want your students to remember you?
See, it's a students want to remember me is the problem. If they want to remember me, they can take any of the things what I possess, like maybe my passion for sports, my passion for driving, my passion for fitness, my passion for making them play, anything. They can remember me for anything. But I think they should remember me for my lessons which I gave them in the school time, that भाई बॉडी में जान है तो जान है, और जान रखने के लिए बॉडी फिट होनी चाहिए, उतना जान का बोझा उठाने के लिए बॉडी फिट होनी चाहिए. So the fitness is more important. As I said, it is 18 minutes, 2000 skips, you do it and you are fit. So they will remember me automatically. Many students come back after being fit to show me, sir, dekho, I am still fit, I am doing this, I am doing that. So that's a nice time when I enjoy. Yes, they are remembering me.
So you want your students to remember you as a person who installed the fitness formula in their head, physical fitness formula.
Yeah, and not only that, see, when I've traveled so much, I want them to do it, because that's how they learn. If I've done a lot of collection, I have 10 different hobbies. At least they should have one hobby by which their knowledge is upgraded. Like I have cameras. Last few days, if you see my social media, I am writing about cameras, because I am clearing out the many stuff over here, shifting the things. So I found some cameras and I kept on writing about it. So that camera is not for show. I don't want them to become a old camera, non-working camera collectors. I want them to take beautiful photographs, because those photographs are their memories for the lifetime. I have a lot of stamps. Stamps give you a lot of combination, because if you see a stamp, it is not real photo. It's a artwork. It's a combination of different things together. The color scheme is there. There are a lot of things into it which you have to understand about it. So if they start doing one thing, automatically second thing follows. If they're collecting coins, they'll understand the meaning of the value of the market, the importance of the coin. You know, today the coin has, I don't think the 1 rupee coin has 1 rupee importance. But if you go back 50 years, 100 years, the 1 rupee coin has 500, 700 rupees importance today. It's 1 rupee coin. 100 years back, it has a 500 rupees value, because it was silver made. So it depends upon how you things you take it. But I want the students to learn from the hobby. Instead of spending the spare time, leisure time in doing nonsense things, they can give their spare time in maintaining the hobby.
Okay. So you want them to remember you as a person who installed different hobbies, different passions, and did good work to keep their bodies and state of mind alive.
and for the restoration of forts, because heritage is very important.
Correct. Okay. So you want to have a modern as well as a traditional approach where you maintain
Because if you forget history,
history.
the
Correct.
person who has lost the history is going to be lost in the world.
Correct. So you want them to be grounded as well as you want them to have passions and hobbies.
Yes.
Okay. So what is your first memory of being a teacher? For example, you started your career with SSPMS and then you came to Loyola. So what was your first memory at SSPMS and then what was your first memory at Loyola?
The first memory of Loyola is when I came over here, I was very much experienced teacher. But the memory of my SSPMS days were very different, because I was just a student that time. I had passed 12th standard and I became teacher over there. 10th standard, till 10th standard I was a student over there, the same school. After a gap of 2 years I became a teacher and I came over there to coach the students and the primary classes. The memories which I carry with those days was, I was the way I was treated over there. Few teachers felt very nice about it. Few teachers had a doubt, if he carries on like this, tomorrow he is going to be the principal. So a lot of things happened. That's why I didn't continue over there. I had to shift over to some other schools, or I would have been principal 20 years back. But when I came to Loyola, the first memory was, as a student I had been to Loyola many a times to play the football matches. Today where you enter the Loyola campus, on the right hand side when you see the ground, on that corner was a big stony patch where we used to come and keep our bags and change over and then get inside the ground to play. When I entered Loyola, that time I was just into the dream of the thinking of my old days when I used to enter Loyola on cycle and then see Loyola and wanted to play on it. And today I was comparing, I am going to be the coach on this ground. So that was the cherishing memory for me, with the batch of Ajay Kuttappan, Lobo, Nair, all these characters who had left a lot of impact, because that was my first 5th standard batch. They are still connected with me and I love all of them. रनिंग भी नहीं लगेगा हाँ 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 अरे वाह वेरी गुड